What's happening there, Reject Nation? Greg and John here today. We are going to watch the first episode of Star Wars Visions. We decided we're going to watch the English version because it just makes watching the reactions with us that much easier to do. Plus, I hear they got some pretty good voice actors involved, so it just makes sense. Let's do it. We're Americans! But ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't been enjoying our reaction, we'd really appreciate if you could go ahead and hit that like button. Also, be sure to subscribe and click that notification bell to get notified when our reaction for the next Star Wars Visions is up. We're going to be shooting a lot of these back to back, so hopefully we get all these reactions out for you over the next few days. And lastly, as always, full-length watch-alongs are sync with a time coder over at our Patreon page. Over there, we cover so many shows. With the same tier, you get the option for both reaction highlights and watch-alongs included. Just finished Avatar: The Last Airbender. Thank you for all the support you guys are showing our way. And of course, Jaden. Thank you so much for writing down these highlights for us. You sexy beast, you. Yeah, don't sue me for guy hitting on his employee. All right. The Duel.
Wow. Droid.
Nindaganiwega. Thank you very much, sir. It must be lonesome traveling the countryside all by yourself.
God, soundtrack.
Some strong Kurosawa vibes here.
Absolutely.
Last remnants of the war, willing to take whatever they want. It's not safe. We should go inside. Come, you two.
Thanks for the warm welcome. It's time for you to pay your taxes.
That was a direct order! Which one of you is the chief?
I am the current chief, and you've taken enough!
Whoa.
You really the chief of this village? Or did your father run away and leave you in charge?
What a coward your father must be!
I thought his face was gonna smashed in half.
Nope, just sleeping. Sleeping it off.
You know you can't, right?
Wow.
Do I care? Do I not care?
Disgraceful.
Love the colored lights too.
Whoa!
She's a Sith!
Oh, hell no.
What do we do?
My droid, do you think you could repair him? I need him fully operational by the time this pot boils.
Cool.
Run! Don't engage in close combat! Fall back!
Oh!
Did you honestly think you could stand a chance against a Dark Lord?
You need to run! You'll never be able to beat her!
Oh.
I'll kill you!
Oh no.
No.
Show that bitch what's up.
You don't look like one of the villagers. Who dares face me?
Just a simple wanderer.
I better hurry.
You just turn the T down.
What?
Oh, cool.
You're a Jedi. It's been a long time since I killed a Jedi.
Oh. He ain't no No Jedi.
Coward!
Unfortunately, I am not a Jedi.
Whoa.
Hey, yeah, cool.
Raiders.
The same creature as Sebulba? Damn.
Whoa.
Oh, I have so many nipple chills. I grew more nipples for the chills.
We have the chief, and his guards have surrendered.
Apologies, but we don't fight fair either. Drop your weapon.
I love it. I love it so much.
Table's about to turn. Ooh.
Look at that droid!
Yeah.
He can't swim!
Oh.
There you go.
Whoa. What a shot.
Please, sir, are you willing to tell me your name?
So it collects like the crystals off of other people's.
Take care of this.
Interesting.
It wards off evil.
Sith kyber crystals. I have spoken.
I love the choice to do this in black and white too. Well, like what they chose to put in color. That was fantastic.
Wonderful. Yeah.
That was like
Beautiful.
That was amazing. I really love that a lot.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Really beautiful style.
Oh, it's already shaping up to be exactly what I wanted to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's talk about it.
Well, that was great. That was almost everything I wanted it to be. I believe that, and I kind of got the vibe too from looking at certain images from the trailer, that this particular episode is most likely inspired by the Kurosawa film, because a lot of times, you know, Star Wars has often referenced Kurosawa, usually Seven Samurai, but I believe the movie that this one is based off of is Yojimbo? Is that, I don't know how to it's a different name in the States.
Let me tell you.
But I think it's called Yojimbo. I've never seen that movie, but I've seen enough people compare Star Wars to that movie to then draw a correlation to here when looking at the episode. So yeah, it's a movie I should definitely watch. I know. But in terms of what they did with this episode, I thought it was really cool, you know, because not only did they capture it aesthetically like that film, I'm presuming, but they do capture the overall tone of being a Ronin. It also did the plot of the movie that I wanted to do, the Star Wars film that I had in mind. Yeah, I had a 2-hour one in mind, but there's a lot of different details.
It's better in 12 minutes.
But it's essentially like, yeah, I wanted it to be like an anime samurai movie, but about a guy who is a former Sith. But without going into details, but it's pretty much like the same kind of plot. I'm like, oh, goes to town, saves the town.
Yeah.
Something just really grounded and, obviously longer and more character development, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, that is I was like, so for me, I'm like, oh, this is hitting all the right feels. And especially with choosing the aesthetic of black and white, created this gray area because I thought it was cool how like there was very few colors that you had here, but the colors that it had were obviously the black and white creating the gray, but then you have like the red, but then beyond that too, it's like there were certain little bulbs around you that were like blue and green, representing like light and dark side, and how this character falls into the gray area of that man who presumably former Sith now lives this path that is not exactly fully light or fully dark, so I thought like the color palette choice of that was really cool. And then a bunch of familiar Star Wars creatures here or there. One droid looked like the one from The Mandalorian, Zero, and then another one was there was another one there was another creature that looked like, I don't remember
there's
the
like
name.
a Tusken Raider.
There's a Tusken. I know like Tusken Raider. I don't remember too many. I don't remember too many of the creatures. I remember like the names. I don't remember too many of the titles of the creatures. Yeah. There's one that looked like Sebulba at one point. Which was neat because then you start going into the fight between them. And it's called the Duel, and it sounded like their song was a play on Duel of the Fates. Yeah,
like an interpolation with more Japanese instrumentation, fleshing it out.
Yeah, it was cool. But I love the tone and I love the mood, and I thought they brought the samurai spirit to life. And honestly, from seeing the trailers, I was like, this is delivering already on what I want it to be. So far, it's like a cool little slice. But yeah, John, what do you think?
Yeah, I loved this, and I think I would absolutely echo that sentiment that like this is exactly the kind of thing I was hoping for. I loved that this was not very dependent. I mean, there's some dialogue, some good voice performances. I believe Lucy Liu was the like main adversarial character, but I liked that it wasn't dependent on a lot of dialogue or anything like that. It's very visual storytelling. When the flashes of color started to come up, I thought those were used really nicely, especially because there's so much color coding in Star Wars. Even, all the light side colors have different individual meanings and things like that. And it's just, they made it so tangible. And yeah, like it in its story depiction does feel like a Kurosawa movie, but also I love that they combined the aesthetics of having both old film just like scratched up, and you can see like hairs ticking by, but they also, it looked by the animation like they were doing this in a blend of things that were drawn and things that were sort of CG enhanced. But what I loved is they really put in that old time feel of a drawing where it's like all the shadows and all the ink blots feel like they're moving because every individual image is different, and it feels very drawn by hand. So it's like you get the old film aesthetic and the old animation aesthetic together in something that is like a total mood piece. And then the music also really reminded me of an old Kurosawa movie. When you got away from some of the Star Wars, I thought they blended it really well. So you had some of these big sweeping romantic orchestral notes, obviously Duel of the Fates calling directly back, and then some of these more obscure stringed instruments or flute-like instruments that really just added so much atmosphere. So yeah, and I mean, I'm a sucker for anything in black and white that's like presented, like anything new that's presented that way. So I really enjoyed the heck out of this.
Yeah, it was awesome. But of course, you can't end this without talking about how they take all the Japanese film influences and slap it into Star Wars, right down to the fact of how the blade is protruded, like it goes away, like it doesn't
suck into the handle.
He actually has to put it away like a real sword, a real blade, which was awesome.
And the
even the blade handle of it didn't look like a lightsaber; it looked like an actual sword.
Yeah.
And what'd you say?
And the blade parasol.
Oh, yeah.
The red saber blades.
Yeah, that was really awesome. But even like how they brought the stormtroopers to life too, feeling like those henchmen who come into town and are like sleazy, disgusting henchmen.
We're gonna take over here, you know, for the Empire. Give us your resources.
I really enjoyed it. It had all the flourishes that I would have asked for, and then the lightsaber fight was cool. It was just awesome to see like an anime samurai fight, but with using lightsabers. It was just awesome. Yeah, that was cool. I'm thoroughly satisfied. What did you guys think about it? What did you guys think about it? Leave your thoughts down below. Point at all the Easter eggs and stuff like that, because we only watched it one time and we're not coming over it for more. So yeah, we're moving on to the next one right now. But guys, subscribe, click that bell, hit that like button, and hey, let's do a Chris Whamoff. Chris, I can totally see you being like our fellow Ronin here in this episode. And in some ways, you're the only one on our Patreon who is like this guy. Stumbler into town, helping out random people left and right, even when you're not asked to. In fact, some people find your level of willingness to help a little imposing. You should probably dial it back a little bit. It's bordering on rude. So, Chris, I would say that sometimes your generosity is not really needed. I mean, of course, state pledge. I mean, if you want to even increase it. But in terms of like real life things, things that really matter, maybe you should hold back a little bit. You could put that time and energy from helping people to increasing your hours at your job, to increase your pledge here at Patreon. Let's face it, where would your financial earnings be better suited? Probably to increasing your pledge here. I don't really think homeless people or people losing, their lives to so many terrible things are really necessary these days. What you need to do is help a reaction channel out as much as possible. Chris, thank you for being you. John, say your thing.
Do the Lord's work, Chris. It was worth it.
Yes, it was. Thanks for being on our
Chris so
Patreon
much.
page.